Okay, Bill, I appreciate your insights today, and we'll find out how good your Super Bowl prediction is when we bring you on next week. Thank you very much, Bill. Have a great weekend, and look forward to coming on the program next week. Have a good night, Bill. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, take care, Bill. Bye.
Well, we've got a couple predictions there from Mel Farr, okay, who's actually aiming toward Kansas City, and Bill going the other way with San Francisco. So I'll be curious to see how it all plays out. So, the one thing I can tell you right now is this, you got two teams here. One hasn't won a Super Bowl in 50 years, and the other one's trying to win their sixth to tie for the all-time lead. We'll just call it the Something Has to Give Bowl. One drought ends or another one makes history to tie some elite franchises.
Yeah, and it's kind of like David versus Goliath in this Super Bowl. Bill made a couple of interesting points, though. Kansas City has never really, and much more recently.
All right. Anyways, our next guest here on the Sports Exchange is Xavier McKnight, and Xavier McKnight is a regular contributor here to the South Florida Tribune Broadcast Network, and he is so with our show, The Real and the Rare. And Xavier McKnight, thanks for being back on the Sports Exchange. I know it's been a while on this show, so glad to have you back on the program.
As always, Scott, it's great to be back onto the program, great to be back on the Sports Exchange, great to be back doing The Real and Rare, and just being back with the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network.
Beautiful. Well, I know you texted me because you had some strong feelings about the Kobe Bryant tragedy. So what I'm going to do, Xavier, is I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about Kobe Bryant.
Well, first off, before I begin, I have to ask, is anyone else on the program tonight?
I'm right here, Xavier.
Yeah, Louis Daniel Weiss is right here.
And I wish we could have reunited on happier terms.
Yes, definitely wish that was the case, but I wanted to make sure that I properly gave everyone the respect on this show that they deserve, just simply by giving everyone a formal greeting before I decided to dive in on this topic. It's been a very tough past 4 days for me in particular. I mean, for all of us who are basketball fans and sports fans and Laker fans and just good, genuine human beings in general. It's been a tough past 4 days. I was at work on Sunday. I had actually just finished eating my lunch, and a reporter came running out of her office and just screaming, "Kobe Bryant died." And the first place we actually saw it was from a news station in Miami who said that they had heard it from a verified source. Now, Scott and Lewis, here's the thing about this. An hour before any of this was even taking place, I was taking a look on different news stations' Twitter sites, and what I had ran across was ABC News in Tampa. They had just tweeted about a helicopter crash that had happened in Calabasas. And I was actually waiting for ABC Extreme Reach to send out some type of live feed about that crash so that I could try to live stream it for my station's Facebook page.
Xavier, excuse me for a second, if I may. I need you to speak up a little bit louder, all right?
Okay.
No problem. Okay. Go ahead. Proceed.
And I had just heard about this crash in the Calabasas, and I'm looking on ABC Extreme Reach to see if there's a live feed that I can send out to my station's Facebook page. Never in a million years, an hour later, would I expect to even hear what I had just heard. But, at the time she's like, yeah, this came from my station in Miami, and they heard it from a verified source. That's pretty close to the situation.
Right.
And then at that point, we had then saw TMZ's report. But at this point, I'm still like, no, I'm not believing this. I'm not believing this. But the more I go on Twitter, the more people I see saying, rest in peace, Kobe. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And the moment I knew that this was a reality was when ABC 7 in Los Angeles tweeted it out.
Right.
That's when I knew this was a reality. I had other colleagues and friends who were saying, I'm waiting for ESPN to release something. No, I knew when ABC 7 in Los Angeles tweeted something out, I knew this is a real thing. And, I'm still trying to process all of this. It has slowly, truly became a reality for me in the past few days. When I woke up on Monday morning, I was still just laying in my bed in shock and in disbelief that Kobe's no longer here, his daughter's no longer here, and those other 7 passengers who were on that helicopter with them, including the pilot, are no longer here. And, you know, you hear people with their conspiracy theories about what they believe happened, what they believe led to the crash, how things could have been avoided. And even though some of those things could possibly be true, the fact of the matter is this: when it's your time to leave this earth, it's your time to leave this earth, and that's an appointment that none of us are going to be able to avoid. The positives that I take out of this is the fact that we were blessed with the gift known as Kobe Bryant for 20 years of his brilliant NBA career. And he left us with so many very beautiful moments, so many exciting moments. Kobe made us laugh. He made us cry. He made us feel every emotion he did as a basketball player. And when you look at the second phase of his life, that just makes it even more tragic with this situation. For the first time, it looked like Kobe was actually happy, because I don't remember ever seeing Kobe Bryant look satisfied or look happy as a basketball player. I never saw him smile so much until his career was over. And you hear him say in these different interviews when people would ask him if he missed basketball, and he'd say no, because he gave it everything he had. And, I mean, you look at it, and Kobe Bryant absolutely gave this game everything that he had. I mean, my goodness, you look in his 17th season, the 2012-2013 season, he was basically carrying a Lakers team. He carried them into the postseason, and he didn't get to play in it because he ruptured his Achilles.
Right.
Of course, after that, the Kobe Bryant that we once all knew as a player, he was no more after that. But he left us with one last beautiful moment, scoring 60 points in his final game of his career that he scored there. But I was really excited for everything that he had going on. And, you know, I feel for the athletes and the people who are the closest to him. Of course, I send my prayers and condolences to all of the families involved. But Scott, I just have to say this. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to take a look at Vanessa Bryant's Instagram post that she came out with last night.
Mm-hmm. Saw it this morning, yeah.
Her post was focusing more on, yes, we're mourning Kobe and Gianna. Yes, we miss them. We wish we could just say something to them one more time. We wish we could just see them one more time. We wish we could have them here forever. But a vast majority of her post was focused on doing everything they could to also help the victims' families of everyone else who died in that crash as well. And that's a different level of selflessness and love right there. I mean, this woman is about to bury her husband, one of her children. Their siblings are about to bury their father and one of their siblings. And you just look at what that post was focused on, and you're just like, wow, you know, this is what this family was all about, because that's what Kobe was all about.
Right.
Later on, throughout the second half of his life. Of course, the first half of his life, Kobe wasn't exactly openly like this. We don't know what he was like on the inside, but when you look, especially the years after him tearing his Achilles and him realizing, I have to transition out to life after basketball, and you saw how open he was. You saw how much of a helper he was to other people. He was a huge advocate for women's sports, especially women's basketball, whether it's college basketball, whether it's the WNBA. I mean, just a few days before that unfortunate tragedy took place, he was being interviewed, and he had given a short list of WNBA players who he felt could play in the NBA right now. And when you think about his 13-year-old daughter and the trajectory that she was on, and she was going to make it to the WNBA. She was going to be one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time. It absolutely breaks your heart. It's a tragedy. It's still unbelievable and somewhat shocking in a sort of way. But the somewhat positive that I take out of this whole thing, and I know that it is just so out of the ordinary to say that we are taking some type of positive out of a situation like this. The positive that I take out of this is look at how it is bringing people together. Look at how it is connecting people. Look at how people are just coming together. My only hope for all of this is that this is not some temporary thing that people are doing because there's so much in hurt and there's so much in shock right now. No, I really hope and pray that this is a lifestyle choice that people are making. I hope that people understand that before they decide to have petty gripes with someone else going forward or before things go longer than they should. And don't get me wrong, we are going to continue to see people have disagreements with each other. We're going to see people continue to have altercations of some sort with each other. We're going to have times where people just aren't going to like each other. That's not out of the norm. It's not out of the ordinary. And it's almost not even normal to even think that those things are no longer going to happen because of a horrible tragedy that took place. But I hope that those things can be taken into account because of a horrible tragedy like this. That, listen, I'm mad at you right now, but I hope those things can be resolved faster than they usually are. Because the last thing that I believe anyone would want to deal with is someone leaving this earth that you do not have proper closure with or that you are not on good terms with. Because it would really just take a cold-hearted person, in my opinion, for something like that to happen. To just say, oh, well. No. If you are a genuine-hearted human and something like that were to happen, you're going to be hurt. It's going to hit you. You're going to feel something. And it's really going to be feelings of regret that you really can't look that person in the eye anymore and say, I'm sorry, and they know that you're sorry, or they at least heard you say those words. Scott and Lewis, before I hand the floor to you, I just want to say that I saw Kendrick Perkins do something very beautiful on Twitter a few days ago. It was actually the day that we all learned of Kobe Bryant's passing, and he said it again today on The Jump on ESPN. I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but a little over a month ago, there was a short Twitter beef between Kevin Durant and Kendrick Perkins. And Kendrick Perkins went on Twitter the day of Kobe Bryant's passing, and he also did it today on The Jump, and he openly asked Kendrick Perkins, and he openly asked Kevin Durant for forgiveness, and I believe that that was a very beautiful gesture. I hope that Kevin Durant does forgive him. I hope that they're able to make amends and they're able to go back to being like brothers. And I hope the same thing for guys like Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb and others, because at the end of the day, some of these things are just not worth it. And life is just so precious, and we should savor every single second of every moment.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
All right, Lewis, go ahead.
So, Xavier, a couple of things, and one is a bit cryptic, and then another one is just a little sad. I want to know your thoughts. I was watching The Jump the other day. It's kind of hard for me to speak right now because growing up I wasn't the biggest basketball fan, but I feel like I followed Kobe ever since I was a little kid. Tracy McGrady, who was kind of Kobe's contemporary when he was with Houston in the league, they played around the same time, said that Kobe once told him that he wanted to die young because he felt like after he had given his all on the basketball court, and obviously I feel like this may have shifted given what he was doing up until his passing, he had pretty much given everything he thought he was meant to give. And then, again, to the second thing I'll ask, how ironic is it that this happens literally the day after LeBron, who is now in a Lakers uniform, passes him on the all-time scoring list?
You know, Lewis, before I get to the Tracy McGrady point, you bring up LeBron passing him on the all-time scoring list. It was an eerie feeling for me on Saturday night before that game. The way that they were just talking about Kobe Bryant and they were talking about LeBron James and Rachel Nichols and the crew when they were all there. It was just some type of eerie feeling about that. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was feeling until, of course, almost 16 hours later, just like it was just something eerie about it. It was something like we need to embrace this moment because they celebrated him getting ready to pass Kobe Bryant on the all-time scoring list more than they celebrated him passing Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list. It was just something really eerie about that to me. And as far as what Tracy McGrady said, yeah, you know, I can believe that a younger Kobe Bryant probably would have said things like that. Scott is a longtime